Good evening and welcome to the Wildthangz Jr. Pro Pattern Experience event sponsored by Wildthangz Jr., Deviate Bowling, and Ace Hardware. Title match for this evening, May the 5th, 2017, featuring David O'Sullivan and Rick Pittman. This evening's pattern was a 32-foot pattern named the Strip. Have a picture of the pattern up here on the video for you. O'Sullivan was our tournament leader, qualifying with a score of 10-13 and defeated David Shin in the match play portion, 189 to 157. Ball comes in a little light. He's going to shoot a 2-8 here in the first frame. In our third and fourth place consolation match, we have Richard Phillips going against David Shin. That is an off-camera match. We had 34 entries this evening. Very strong field from the Central Florida area.
Listen, you don't have to say it. It was good participating. It was awesome being able to throw the ball in front of me and actually knock down options. It's all good. It's all good. And if you don't think that's my question.
Spare to start the game for David O'Sullivan. Now stepping up on lane 4 is Rick Pittman.
Don't worry, I'll be like this. Don't like it.
Oh, it's all good.
Rick was our second place qualifier after qualifying this evening with a score of 973, and he defeated Richard Phillips in the match play portion, 179 to 178. And strike to start the game.
Oh, that's the boss, so you can't even get mad. Get back to professional.
Rick Pittman now up on lane number 3. Shots off. A little light. He's also going to shoot a 2-8 on lane 3. Again, the pattern this evening was a Pro Pattern Experience original known as the Strip. It's a 32-foot pattern. Very heavy oil buildup between the 6 and 10 board on both the left and the right-hand side with a lot of buff in the middle. Turns into a reverse block as the night progresses. You can see what we're talking about with the reverse block effect out there as that ball just completely took off to the left from the mid lane shooting that 2-8 spare. Rick with a score of 28 in the second. O'Sullivan now stepping up on lane 4 for the second frame. Just a touch outside, the ball never quite made it back. O'Sullivan's going to have to shoot the 2-10 on lane 4. Gave it a good run, sent it over there, didn't quite take out the 10 pin. O'Sullivan's now going to be stepping up on lane number 3. Pittman has the lead by 1 through 2 frames, 28 to 27. I want to again take a quick moment and thank all of our great sponsors. Wildthangz Jr. Sign Shop for being the title sponsor. Deviate Bowling for all of their support in helping to promote our side events. And Ace Hardware for our local sponsorship. Shots off. You could hear David calling for the hook on the back end. 2-pin on lane 3, so that's 3 shots in a row. The ball just hasn't quite made it up the hill. Be interesting to see what adjustment he's going to pull out of his bag of tricks at this point. And that's a spare in the third. Rick is now going to be stepping up on lane 4. Our off-camera third and fourth place match presently has David Shin with a score of 76 in the third on a spare. Richard Phillips getting up to bowl his 5th frame on a strike up in the fourth with a score of 48 in the third. Rick with a strike up in the third frame. Now going to be stepping over to lane number 3 with the opportunity to extend his lead to 11 pins. Excellent opportunity here to remind everybody our Grand Championship event will be in 2 weeks on May the 19th, 2017, again here at AMF Leesburg Lanes. Title sponsor for that event will be Wildthangz Jr. Sign Shop. We'll be doing a dual pattern event for that championship. Patterns will be announced as we get closer to the tournament date. Additional details will be available on Facebook and Twitter. Rick with a flat 10 on lane number 3, getting up to shoot the spare. With the spare, that gives him a score of 48 in the third, with a spare up in the fourth. David O'Sullivan now stepping up on lane 4. Shots off. He liked it off his hand. That one rolled up flush. Just heard him say it. That was a good shot. Three shots in a row. It rolled up a little light. Made the adjustment. Got that one to face up just a little earlier. Roll in flush for the strike. Still trails by 1 through 4, but now with the strike up, he has the pin count advantage working for him. Calling for the carry with the double up. David O'Sullivan now has a 9-pin lead as he is through 5 frames. Rick is now getting up to bowl his 5th frame on lane 4. Just a quick update on our off-camera 3rd and 4th place match. David Shin currently getting up to bowl his 7th frame with a 32-pin lead in that match. Rick with the strike on lane 4, trailing by 9 as he heads for lane 3 in the 6th frame. Opportunity with the strike here to retake the lead by 1 pin. You could tell he just never quite got that one out as wide as the others, and it read the mid lane very early and took off to the left. Now having to shoot the 1, 3, 6, 9 on lane 3. Very difficult spare. Pattern being as short as it is and as heavy as the volume is in the front of the lane. A little miss to the right and it won't make it back. A little tug to the left and it'll run away Brooklyn. Just as we were saying. Now with the open frame in the 6th, Rick has a score of 96 through 6. David O'Sullivan now stepping up on lane 4, working on a double. Shots off. That one carved back off the edge. He now has a turkey working for him. Now stepping up on lane 3, working with a 41-pin lead. Got that one a little inside. You can tell he was giving up on it halfway down the lane. Very fortunate as it comes to the nose to leave only the 6-pin on that shot. Assuming he makes a spare, it's going to give him 126 in the 6th. That'll be a 30-pin lead as Rick will be stepping up to bowl his 7th frame on lane 4. Ball just never quite made it back. He's left a 2-pin on lane 4. Rick can still go off the sheet for 206. David O'Sullivan is pacing at 206. As Nelson Burton Jr. used to say, if you can do it with a pencil, you can do it with a bowling ball. This match is far from over.
Yeah, at least you better work on something. Did I do that before?
With the spare on lane 4, Rick now going to be stepping up on lane 3. Just a quick update from our off-camera 3rd and 4th place match. It is going to be David Shin with the victory. He already has 196 through 1 ball down in the 10th. Richard Phillips can only strike out for 180. Again, this is the Wildthangz Junior Eliminator at AMF Leesburg Lanes, a pro pattern experience event brought to you by DV8 Bowling and Ace Hardware. Rick with a key strike there in the 8th frame, again keeping him in position to shoot a max score of 206. David O'Sullivan pacing for a 206 game, now stepping up on lane 4 for his 8th frame. Final score from the 3rd and 4th place match is David Shin with a 208, and Richard Phillips will be either in the high 170s or at 180 on the nose. So that makes David Shin our 3rd place finisher and Richard Phillips in 4th. Didn't quite make it back. He's left the 2-8. This brings O'Sullivan's pacing score down to 204. As we were saying earlier, with the mid lanes playing the way they are, a double wood is no gimme out there. Looks like Dave is going to play this off his strike line. Use the back end to generate some angle on it. Shots off. Needs to move. Just barely got over there.
That ball's a little tired. Golly.
Spare up in the 8th. David O'Sullivan currently sitting on a 28-pin lead with a spare up in the 8th. Heading for his 9th and foundation frame. Shots off, looked good out of his hand, rolled up flush. This gives him 164 in the 8th with a strike up in the 9th, again pacing for a 204 finish. The math is pretty simple at this point. Rick can strike out for 206. He must strike on this shot here on the 9th to have a chance. Shots off. Oh, and again, it just didn't recover on the back end of the lane. Ball went right through the break. It's going to be the 1, 2, 4, 6, 10. Great spare. Excellent pickup. Rick can still strike out for 186. That will force David O'Sullivan to get good count. And the old paralyzer 5-pin on lane 3. That's going to put Rick at a max score of 175. David with the strike up in the 9th is already at 174. He'll just need to keep the ball in the lane and not cross the foul line on back-to-back shots to secure the title.
Hey, good ball, Rick. Good tournament, man. Very good ball.
With the strike on the fill ball, of course, as always, the fill ball always carries. Rick finishes at 175. Excellent showing this evening on a very, very difficult, demanding shot maker's condition. O'Sullivan now on lane 4, just finishing out for final score purposes. Flat 10. That is more than enough to secure the title. Just a matter of determining what the final score is going to be. Again, this was the Wildthangz Junior Eliminator held at AMF Leesburg Lanes, sponsored by DB8 Bowling and Ace Hardware. Our Grand Championship event will be in 2 weeks on May the 19th, 2017. Additional details for that event will be up on Facebook and Twitter in the coming days. David O'Sullivan stepping up here to throw his fill shot to collect a final score. I want to thank all the participants this evening. We had 34 entries this week. That is our best turnout of the season. Crosses over for the Brooklyn strike and a 204 to 175 final score. Everybody have a great night, and we look forward to seeing you back here in 2 weeks for our finals.